What's up, everybody? It's your boy Phil Shock and the 96 Hedgehog here with our Week 3 team builder of the WWC. We are going against the man that I have down. I don't even know how I'm supposed to say this. Basically, we're going against Ian, coach of the Lanterns. Dang, that name is harder to get off the tongue, right? But before we get into this team builder and talk about the matchup here, let's go over some transactions real quick because I did make my 5 transactions for the season, and I picked up some pseudo new stuff, some old favorites, and gone from there. So, with that being said, let's break down this. And before we enter this video itself, definitely hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new. Join the Phil Shocker crew today because you'll be for the king of the crew. And first off, to everyone, we have got hit 28 subscribers, and we have hit over, I believe, 2,300 views on the channel in less than a year, which, with the rebrand for my channel / relaunch after the whole deletion with, Kappa and everything that happened, the fact that we're slowly but surely getting that grind back, we're about a quarter of the way back towards our 113, 115 goal area of subscribers. So thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate everything you've done. But right now, let's talk about the transactions we made. So the transactions we made, I'm going to go a little bit of the detail why I dropped them on. I'm also going to go into a little detail why I picked up the Sir Bud. Oh, excuse me. But, so with the team, I was looking at my team, and I wanted some better options. I wanted some decent, better options for my team. I think there was definitely something. We didn't have a really good dark type. We didn't have, the best water or really decently good ground. We had some really good pieces like Zapdos and stuff like that. So overall, there was just a lot of things that needed to be changed. So what I decided to do is to basically use up my transactions, and I wanted to find the best possible monster to bring back. And I'm gonna let you guys know, I was really, really thinking of what I gotta do. I was going from, excuse me, I was going from getting like Mega Swampert plus Politoed and maybe even Dracovish for a big offensive rain core, but then Grass is just a super, super typing that's going to be spammed every week, and then like my Grass resistance is only realistically would have most likely have been, because I was also going to think about getting Gallon Ultras, but then Gallon Ultras is really taking too much, and I wanted to have Genesect, because Cinderace couldn't be able to check him because of rain. So there was a lot of back and forth in this type of situation, and ultimately we settled on the things that we did settle. So for the ones we dropped, I dropped Mega Tyranitar, Sigilyph, Seismitoad, Galar Zapdos, Vigoroth, and Glalie. The only one of these drops that I think really, really, really hurts was Galar Zap. Galar Zap, I think, definitely came in the clutch. Like last week against Jet, and I definitely want to use this Pokemon more and more and more. I really do. I think I love this Pokemon. It's one of my personal favorites, and it really, really, really hurts me to drop it. But I think it was definitely something that needed to be dropped and fixed for my team to get better. So, in terms of what the reasons were, excuse me, you guys can see it's past midnight for me. It's the next day. I still have another day and a half of work to go through before my next day off. So, I dropped Mega Tyranitar. I just looked at the matchups, and Tyranitar just definitely did not. Like, regular Tyranitar fit better, I think, and more times because of the item usage. And I definitely did take a little bit of advice from Ian and Zach from their stream, saying Sand didn't really fit this team. Now, obviously, if I had kept Tyranitar, dropped some other stuff, picked up Landorus, which can run Sand Force, and Sheer Force, which I'll get into a little bit of discussion like that. Excuse me. And all that, it could have worked. But overall, I mean, I was really kind of hyping up T-Tar for the web support and stuff like that. But I think the web setting with Slurp Up isn't as common and it's not as useful as much. So definitely going something else was definitely the more the better for me. So there was that. So there's Red. Oh my God. Sorry guys, jeez, I'm not trying to yawn so much. Anyways, Sigilyph, I didn't think there was anything really realistically good with Sigilyph. I think for our team, I think Sigilyph just didn't provide too much for the team, and really wasn't going to do a lot for us. So, it was definitely something to note with that. But yeah. Seismitoad, I'm actually kind of a little bummed to drop Seismitoad because I had so many ideas of running like Rain Dance with this thing. And I was actually thinking about bringing it versus Ian with Rain Dance, but then just kept looking at side beans and matchups and how we were going to build for it. Just didn't end up working as well as I wanted it. Oh my god, I need to stop, man. Jesus. Zap, like I said, I didn't really want to drop, but I think it was definitely the right decision to make to drop in terms of that. I definitely didn't have a lot of bulk on my team. I kind of had more like offense in terms of stuff. And stuff I drafted does have some bulk to it, but also doesn't have the best offense to it as well. I mean, better offense in my opinion. And Vigoroth Glalie, there's no law there. I would say if I had to pick which one of these two, I'm actually a little sad to see go. Is definitely Vigoroth. I think like Vigoroth, and I actually was. I'm not gonna lie to you. Really was low key thinking to bring Vigoroth versus Ian. I am not joking to you guys. I was really considering it. I was really, really considering it. But at the end of the day, I just couldn't. And oh my god, I am so sorry. I'm yawning so much, guys. I just can't do it, man. I just can't. But overall, I don't know, man. It was just a lot of things to kind of just take into consider for this team. We did give up 2 rock setters and a spikes user, and only picked up 1 rock setter in return. For hazard removal, we lost to Defogger, but we did pick up 2 more forms of hazard removal with the team, which I think benefits the team better. So definitely something to note there. But yeah, let's quickly go over the team transactions we made that boosted our team, I feel like, and really helping us. First one we picked up was Galarian Moltres. I know, Gala for Gala. But we picked up Galarian Moltres because I think this definitely gives me a better dark type, and it gives me a stronger flying type as well. I think this is just a really good one in general. So I think generally speaking, this definitely gave me the better option for my team versus Tyranitar did for my team. So definitely something to know. And also a base Nitty speed tier gives me bulk, but also gives me a decent balanced speed tier. So that's really, really good. And of course, I picked up the boy Mr. Vish, but we're not gonna name him Mr. Vish this season. We're also not gonna name Moltres Despair. We're going with some new nicknames for some of these mons. Uh, Moltres is now named Horus because of fire demigod and stuff like that. Even though it's not a fire type, but the devil flames and everything like that. And we're gonna name our Dracovish Munch now. Munch boys. I would name them Munchies, but I think Munch makes better. Dracovish I picked up. It was something I was planning to draft from the beginning of the draft, but I messed up the drafting of how I wanted to go. And I was thinking about it in free agency to pick it up, but I just did it. And after looking at much, if I really wanted to fit some typings around my team, I just had to go with and I went with my gut, and we picked up Munch. Some people are gonna just say that why do I just keep drafting a mon that has easy counters and it's just not worth it. I've won a championship 3 times with this Pokemon. I know what I'm doing with this one, so there's a reason why I picked it up. Landorus, which I said before, is allowed to run Sheer Force, and it actually went undrafted. I actually picked it up because of the fact it gives me a better ground type for my team, and it does give me a secondary flying type, which is a little problematic for my team, especially on an ice weakness with also freeze dry options and stuff like that. But it gives me a Pokemon that definitely provides a lot of good offensive utility, and definitely gives me a Pokemon that can definitely do a lot of work for my team as well. So I definitely think it was worth the pickup, in my honest opinion. Hitmonchan we're picking up again. Rapid Spinner, which was really good. It's not a bad fighting type. Decent Spadef, good Assault Vest user as well. And same thing with Bufalon. Bufalon, I needed a Ghost Resist for my team. Gives me a Grass immunity for my team as well, which I think doesn't necessarily do anything probably for the team, but does some things. Also Reckless, Offensive, Normal, Stab. It's like a mad truck with this team. So, and I'm using Bufalon in a league, and I actually have gotten like 1 kill with it in 1 game. So, I'm feeling pretty good confident with this. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the matchup here. So, like I said, we were going against Ian and the Lanterns. Ian is a coach I have faced a grand total of 3 times in my career. Once in WWC Season 3 when I had my first full season. We had Ubers, and I got lucky against Ian with some little yellow magic working in my favor, and I beat him. WWC Season 4. Season 4. Me and Ian faced off week 1. And Ian did have to go on a trip that day, so he didn't take his prep, I think, fully serious, but he definitely brought a bit of a serious team. And I picked up the W against Ian in a very close ending game, which was a very great game to start the season. And I faced off against Ian in another league with my good buddy Obo29, and we had the chance to face off before. Obo's league unfortunately just died off, and I did beat Ian again there. I am 3-0 against Ian, and I would love to go 4-0 against Ian. But Ian's team is scary, and I definitely think he's got one of the best teams in the league to definitely win this season again. Because Ian is I believe Ian is a former champion of WWC. But yeah, he was season 3. So Ian's definitely got the perks to win this whole thing. So he's definitely going to be one of the favorites, definitely for the Delta Division. But looking at Ian's draft, he has got Mega B, Mew, Diancie, Como O, Zapdos, Jellicent, Ice Cube, Tauros, Zarude, Heatran, and Nidoking. Very scary offensive team with definitely some good defense utilities, and things like Mew, Diancie to some degrees, even Como O to that standard, but just good reliable bulk and things like Zapdos, Jellicent, even Heatran to some degree. He's got also some good fast hitting options, as in like Zarude, Scarf Nidoking, even Zapdos to that degree. Maybe Mew depending, and definitely big B-boy in Mega B, which is a personal favorite of mine that I really would like to redraft again sometime in the future. Looking at Ian's team, though, there's a couple of flaws with Ian's draft, obviously. He only has 2 removers on his team, and that's definitely something where we could potentially take the advantage of if we play around it. In terms of setting sticky webs, setting this, but we're gonna be forcing Ian definitely to prep a little bit, expecting that. But looking at Ian's squad, Nidoking plus Heatran with the transactions I made, I don't think they come. If Nidoking's coming, it's 100% choice card, but I'm just gonna immediately assume that, unless for some reason it's Shukaberry. But with the sets I've got, I don't think he's gonna really. It doesn't really matter. So Ian's definitely got some power right there. Heatran with the transactions I made, I definitely don't think Heatran's coming. Heatran, I don't think doesn't do anything for him really that well in terms of what he can do. Zarude now, I think Zarude at first I didn't really care for, but now Zarude I think has a decent chance to potentially show up at this matchup now, just because Zarude does a good stop to potential Landorus, and also a decently good stop towards Dracovish sweeping. But I don't think it's going to really come since they do have things like Dragalge, Slurpup, Moltres now, Genesect, Cinderace. Like, unless he knows he can really counter the stuff I have on my team, I don't really see it going. Tauros, I think, has a better chance to potentially come to this matchup now with the transactions I made. Definitely dropping a rock type, made normal typing now more of a problematic typing against our draft, and especially since they don't have a ghost type. So Tauros definitely has a strong likely chance to come up. Like, Tauros with Body Slam plus Fire Blast literally checks everything on my team. So it's definitely going to be something I have to be very mindful and very careful about in terms of what it could do. Oh, excuse me. So definitely scared about that. Ice Cube. There is a good, strong chance I know Ian will bring Ice Cube. I looked up the moveset for this thing. He will 100% most likely bring it. The only thing I think I might not make him not bring it is the fact that if he wants to bring like Belly Drum on Ice Cube, he has to set it up right. He has to set it right because he has to run sub Belly Drum, and then he has to run things like Freeze Drive plus this. But again, that's not going to really scare me as much if I didn't have a ground flying and all that stuff. So we definitely have to play smart against Ian's team, especially if he does bring Ice Cube, which again, I really do think he might bring, because it's just a great mon against my team, especially with the transaction I made. And I do know that the transaction I made definitely hinders me on an ice weakness, especially if there's a right ice typing and all that stuff as well. But overall, I think we can handle it. It just really depends on what we play. For what Ian's bringing, I definitely think the Mega B comes. Mega B just hits so incredibly hard. I only have a few things on my team that's going to resist Mega B's stabs and really just take hits from it. Mew, it's just a Mew. I just don't know what it's going to be, so I definitely think Mew's coming. Diancie, I think now definitely comes with my team as I think he can pull off some kind of Trick Room shenanigans with Jellicent potentially, or something with like a room service mod. She's just kind of take advantage and go from there. So definitely something to note with that. Como, I think now definitely comes because Como's matchup now pairs off really good. It's essentially picked up another Dragon type on my team that is slower than Como, so definitely something to note there. So definitely big scary right there. Zapdos, it's Ian Mon. We all know what Zapdos can do. Zapdos, I think, comes as more defensive, and I think he's forced to run. Like, I don't think he's forced to, but in my mind, he has a part of him that probably thinks he's forced to run defog, just because it's better. Because here's the thing: he wants to run. He would love to run Roost 3 attacks, right? Or Roost defog, and then either Heat Wave / Hurricane with Thunderbolt, something like that, or Volt Switch for pivoting. That's something he's gonna really want to be careful about. So definitely something he really needs for his squad. And I think Jellicent comes to Jellicent's just a really good wall towards things like Genesect, a good wall toward things like maybe my Slurpup and my Dodgy and stuff like that. So definitely something to know. Again, it's another model. It's tricky for itself as well. So again, this could be potentials of even weakness policy. So definitely going to be something we have to be very, very careful and mindful of in terms of that. For the squad we are going to be bringing this week, let's go ahead and kick it off. We have first got our girl, Sunday, making, I believe it's her debut. It might not be. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've last done a battle on Showdown for a while, and my brain really doesn't want to work. We are running standard belly drum, side play rough, drain punch, standard. With the speed, we outspeed Scarf Nidoking, which Scarf Nidoking outspeeds a max speed Beedrill. So basically, once we get a belly drum off and we get our unburden popping, it's basically GG for Ian. Unless he's got a strong priority and he kills me with them. So there's that. But basically, we're going to standard offensive. We're going to make sure that we get half our HP. Half our HP. Let me just make sure I can release berries. Restores every range at 1/4 max HP or less. Uses with special attack. What does a citrus berry do? Citrus range restores 1/4 max at when at half HP. Okay, so actually this runs citrus berry. Actually, it runs better. That works better. So, Sunday I think definitely could be a win competition here or just a good breaker depending on his team. So definitely something to note there. Up next, we got Seaweed, which I've been really enjoying these last 2 weeks. I'm not gonna lie to you; it's only gone maybe like 1 or 2 kills in its grand total, but overall, I have been loving this Pokemon. It's definitely been a lot of fun. Running Surf, Sludge Wave, Dragon Pulse, and Toxic, 116 HP, 76 defense, 172 in special attack, and 12 in depth and 132 speed. The speed actually will let me outspeed 0 speed invested Jellicent, which lets me most likely, hopefully, 2 a KO with Dragon Pulse unless he is really mixed defensive in that type of regard. We have the Toxic there, just Toxic to Jellicent, Toxic to Zapdos, Toxic to Mew, and just really weaken those mons down unless they have a cleric of some sort on his team. Dual Stab pretty much is everything on his team for super effective to neutral damage, and then Surf is realistically just there for things like Heatran, kind of some extra chip for Nidoking. Otherwise, not really anything else there. And even if he doesn't bring Nidoking and Heatran with this, I think just having Surf in general is just a safe thing to have. Also, it's another really good answer to Ice Cube, which, if he's running max speed Adamant, obviously, Ice Cube's going to outspeed me and do some damage to me, but I should always take one hit, and I should always be able to revenge him. That's another reason why I'm running this. When I'm running Sugar Berry, just because if Nidoking comes, I take one hit from Nidoking, and I can potentially revenge kill it off. And also, I take one hit from the Beedrill, so Beedrill can't even kill me in one hit, which I think is really cool as well. Making his debut is going to be Gara here, our Landorus, with the Swords Dance, Knockoff, Earthquake, and Stonehenge. Basically, after I get an SD off, there is nothing he can do to beat my team. So we are running outspeed Nidoking, which outspeed all his bulk and his thing. Obviously, Mew he can outspeed, but I don't think he runs fast Mew. If he runs setup Mew, it's definitely problematic, but I don't think he runs that much speed. I think he would run like an Adamant Mew potentially, something like that. We are running the Yachi Bear, so we will hopefully be able to take at least one hit from Ice Cube or any one Ice type attack from his team. Knockoff plus Earthquake basically is going to just run house on Ian's draft. The only one Pokemon we struggle the most to beat on this team is a combination of Tauros plus Zarude. Tauros, we need to get a clean hit off on the switch in or for something else because that thing gets Ice Beam and I would hate to waste my Ice Beam on it. Ice Beam on the potential there. So it's definitely be mind games when Tauros is there. So definitely something I have to be careful with. Making his debut as well is the set that beat Ian last time. Well, not realistically the same set, but was a set that beat Ian last time. And that set was Sub, Leash Life, Vicious Wren, and Crunch. I believe we are switching Crunch with Psychic Phase because he had Toxapex last season. Not last season, but the last time we faced. But we're going to change this up a little bit. We are running enough speed to outspeed 0 speed invested Zapdos. So if Zapdos has any speed investment, Zapdos will outspeed me, and that's both good and bad. It's bad because he could Thunder Wave or chip down on my Dracovish, but it's good because that'll tell me if he's a defensive Zapdos, which honestly, looking at Ian's team, he needs the bulk. He really needs to, like, defensive. Like, he can run, like, kind of mixed with defensive and offensive, maybe run some speed, but if anything, he'll be running more like HP, defense, and special attack with a little bit of speed, and maybe just a tiny bit of speed. But we should still be able to speed him and just be able to take care of his entire team. So, really, really looking forward to Dracovish making his return to the Iowa Jolteons because he is personally one of my favorite mons to use in draft leagues for how amazing he is. Up next, making its debut as well is going to be Horus, our Galarian Moltres, running the short scarf this week with Hurricane, Ear Slash, Fire Whip, and U-Turn. Look at Ian's draft and look at this monster. What is stopping Horus from doing anything? What's also pretty funny about Horus in this matchup is I ran max speed modest. I do outspeed Neocane by 1 point, but there's one problem I was looking at this. As much as I would love to do this, at the end of the day, it's not worth it. Excuse me. It's not really worth it. And plus, I get a tiny bit of bulk in my HP, which is worth as well. Which can come down to big damage. So, at times, if I have to lock myself into Hurricane, I can. But the reason I have Air Slash on there is just because I can run with something that's less reliable if I need to. But again, this gives me a bit of another spit up wall for my team, and it gives me a good offensive breaker for this matchup, which is going to be really great here. So, really looking forward to that. And last but not least is going to be my boy Techno Drive. You look at Ian's team, you look at Genesect. What does Genesect do? It just clicks a button and claims something. Genesect has definitely been rising up. It's definitely in the top 10 for kill leader right now, so it's really, really good for us there. Flash Cannon, Techno Blast, Leech Light, and Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is there just to mostly deal with just some silly things like the Jellicent, which should be able to 2 KO within this range. Flash Cannon, which is really there just to take advantage of Ice Cube plus DNC, and even something to do with some things like, Coma O if I need to. Leech Life is strictly there for things like Zarude and the Mew, which is very important, and also kind of helps get a little extra chip and everything else. And those don't do too much. And then Technoblast, I went with Drive. I went with Douse. And Douse is definitely risky because I think Ice probably fits better, or arguably Electric fits better. The only reason I have Douse on this is in case he does bring like a Shookaberry Heatran set or something like that. And I would rather be able to run outspeeding this thing, and plus if I had a water move I would hit. But I think going Douse is safer. Plus Douse hits still a lot of strong things in the formatting. So definitely something to note with that. But Douse is definitely going to be risky if I'm not careful how I play it. So really hope this doesn't come in the back and bite me in the butt. So yeah. Thank you all so much for watching so much. Sorry the video went a little longer, but I thought you were going to get some ideas on the transactions we made and the reason why I'm also going over the team builder. So leave a like if you haven't already, subscribe if you're new, join the First Trucker crew today if you're going to game with the crew. With that being said, I'm heading off to bed. You guys enjoy the rest of your day or night. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace.